All right, everybody, welcome in. This is yourfielderschoice.com. My name is Adam, also known as YFC V12, and I'm joined by Mr. Peter Cole himself at YFCP Cole. Pete, how you doing this evening?
What up? Good. It feels good to be kind of sitting back, taking a break, and not hosting the show for once. But I'm doing good. This is best part of the season right now. College football, October.
Yeah, man.
Halloween this weekend, right?
That's right. We're getting into it. We got knee deep in some MLB playoff baseball. I don't know if you guys have checked. I mean, the Astros are in the World Series. I mean, like I said, all year long. But hey, here we are.
Yep, I agree.
So we got college football kicking off and it's popping, man. We got a lot of good games on the slate, 14 games to get through. So obviously before we jump in, there's a ton of action going on right now, guys. You have NFL going on. We talked about MLB, NBA is kicking off fresh. NHL is hot. And obviously all of our niche sports, soccer, EuroLeague basketball, there's just a list that we can just go on, including our esports content. So if you haven't already, go to yourfielderschoice.com. Check out the Discord link to getting in our Discord. Obviously, it's a free Discord, but if you want to take advantage of a great promo we do have for premium content, you can get in right now for half off your first 2 months. That's $25 a month when you're paying hundreds of dollars in the industry to get content that is just, I don't know, as sometimes stale, as sometimes you're just with the masses. I mean, if you want something to differentiate yourself and you want to be part of a great community that's growing, be sure to check out yourfielderschoice.com and get plugged in. Pete, before we start, man, I just want to, tell you how much we appreciate you. I know you're grinding away and you're really digging into college football, but we have some stuff on the horizon. You want to tell them about some sports that we have coming up?
College basketball in less than 2 weeks. So, and you college basketball guys, I mean, if you've been with us, we used to be Daily Fantasy Solutions before. We've always winning season with college hoops. We had a big year last year. Of course, we're going to cover every single slate. If it's being covered by DK, we'll have some kind of content. So there's a lot going on. Thanksgiving come up, then the bowl games, CDB. So I'm excited. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of live streams, a lot of articles. I just see Reese White's now in a boot for Coastal Carolina, so my night may be over. But let's talk about the main slate. I'm not happy about the Thursday night slate already.
Yeah, man, let's move on. We got a big 14-game slate this Saturday, and we're going to be going game by game. Obviously, we're going to try to pull in some, expected lines, betting lines, depending on what's available to us. But, we want to talk about first and foremost this game to start off with. This is a team that's near and dear to your heart, the Miami Hurricanes playing Pittsburgh. Tell me a little bit about this game, Pete. I want you to start us off because you really are focusing on this game. You're honed in. Tell us about the expected totals, the spread, and why you like this game so much.
Of course, I'm a Canes fan, but looking at the over-under, this game is actually now, once again, this is a 14-game slate. So this is a big-ass slate. We're used to 12 games. And you're going to see, as we go through this, there's most of these guys high-salaried. This is by far the hardest slate of the year. I've noticed that the last few years, it's like DK is really soft. And then by mid-October, they get really tough, which is this week. And then they'll slowly kind of dredge down a little bit toward more manageable salaries. But this is going to be a tough slate. And we got 14 games to deal with. So we got to pick our spots here and find some good plays because we're not going to find much value here in the slate. And yeah, the first game is Miami. Miami's traveling to Pittsburgh. Love Miami. Miami's my team, but I also love Kenny Pickett. I like the over-under. It's a 61. Pittsburgh is favored by 9, 35. They have a 35 implied. Miami's implied is 26. But I kind of like Miami on a betting standpoint, really, this game too. With their 9-point road dog, I could see this game being a lot closer. And especially in a slate like this, we have some cheap players here. And starting with kind of Miami, we're kind of in this youth movement. I was a big Derek King guy, but it's kind of nice to see, Tyler Van Dyke coming in here, and he's actually doing really well. Last week against NC State, Saturday night, they won 31-30, big game. Van Dyke now, what was his fourth straight? I think it was his fourth straight start. Completed 25 of 33, 325 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks, which I don't think people would ever 2 months ago, would we ever be talking about Tyler Van Dyke having 325, 4 TDs, and no picks?
Right.
So
for sure.
And I like Van Dyke, and he's 6'7", and I really think as Miami goes, it's going to be on Van Dyke's arm. He's looking more and more comfortable, and as we'll see as we go on, there's not a lot of great prices on his slate. So if you're kind of making some boxes, kind of throw Van Dyke in that GPP/cash spot. Because the last 2 games he's been airing out 33 passes and 45 passes. If Miami wins, it's going to be on his arm. So I do like Van Dyke. Going to now, we got Jalen Knighton is pretty much the man now. He's off of suspension. Cameron Harris is off for the year. And Knighton has been great game last week. 166 total yards and a touchdown. Touched the ball 21 touches on the ground, 83 yards. And then he caught 6 passes, 6 targets, another 83 yards.
Right.
Probably Knighton. As his price, I think he's 8.79. We're going to see probably some better running backs at that price range, but so he's probably going to play as a GPP play. Going to running backs on his slate. I mean receivers. I think we may find our top value receiver on the slate, and that's this kid from Miami who's kind of all of a sudden jumped up. Is Keyshawn Smith at 3.7. Keyshawn Smith, baby. You look at his snap counts the last few weeks. You look at his targets. 2 weeks ago against North Carolina State, 15 targets, 7 receptions, 73 yards. Last week, though, he had 4 targets, 4 receptions, but still, I think he's definitely in play. He's playing a shitload of snaps. He's pretty much outplaying now Harley, who's 4-2. Harley, his last 2 games, he got 3 targets, 6 targets. Mike Mallory, the same thing. So Keyshawn Smith right now, I think, and we're going to say it's going to be tough to get value. Smith may be one of our top receiving values on the slate at only 3.7.
I mean the targets in themselves it's insane to any player to get that many targets in one game and then to still be sub 4K. We're always looking for value. And anything in the 3s that you feel really good about, that you can get double-digit, DraftKings points or even FanDuel points on. I'm all over. I've been looking at him. I was hoping you bring him up. I figured you would. You're a Canes guy, so yeah. What else you seeing here?
He's my top play on the Canes. So it's pretty much on the Canes. Of course, Charleston Rambo. Rambo's GPP play mainly because of his price. He's getting 8-9 targets a game. He's had some decent games. Last game, he had 127 yards, a couple of touchdowns, but GPP only because of that price. What's Rambo? 6'9". When we got guys like David Bell around the same price, but GPP. Going on the other side, though, on the other end is, Kenny Pickett. I'm a huge Kenny Pickett guy. I've been a Pickett fan since day one. And if I can get Pickett in my main lineup, what's Pickett, 8.8? He may end up being my top quarterback. Now, I was just looking before we came on air. I thought I was right. Going back to 2017, Miami was ranked number 2 in the nation. Miami was traveling to Pittsburgh, and Pickett was a young quarterback. Nobody knew. That's when they had Ben DiNucci, Max Brown, those guys, and Pickett all. I think it was the last game of the season, and Pickett came through and had a huge game and upset Miami. 193 yards, ran for 60 more yards, had 3 total touchdowns. It was a huge upset back 4 years ago. And now 4 years later, Pickett's running for a Heisman. I think he's in a great spot. He's had, 20 yards, 23 touchdowns, and only 1 interception through 7 games. The clown on Kenny Heisman in Pittsburgh. I love Pickett right now. He's probably my top cash play. Honestly, there's 2 other guys we'll see, like this, Ritter in Cincinnati and all that. But I like Pickett. Who else we got?
My 2 questions for you would be so Rambo, he's the former Sooner, right? Charleston Rambo.
Mm-hmm.
He's a transfer. Okay. Yeah. Obviously, he's a stud. He's in a great spot to be successful. I think, you kind of mentioned that, but tell me about if Jordan Addison, if he plays, doesn't play, where you at on him, and then where's your pivot?
Right now, what I'm seeing is I don't think Addison's going to get cleared. I could be wrong. Now we're dealing with concussion here. So I don't think he's going to get cleared. So if he doesn't get cleared, I do like Tyzier Mack at 4.7. He's a veteran in the bunch. He's been around a while. So I kind of you give him an upgrade. It's a potent offense. Said they're looking at a high implied. So I like Mack. It looks like it's gonna be two guys taking Addison's role, Jared Wayne and Jalen Barden. They're not cash plays. Looks like both of them probably going to split that role. Possible GPP plays, but that's pretty much it. I mean, thing is, Miami's got a real bad rush defense, but we don't. The problem is these Pittsburgh running backs are terrible, and you'd love to use a guy like Vincent Davis who's done nothing, and now we're seeing a guy like Rodney Hammond's got extra carries, but you can't use these guys in cash. So GPP plays only.
Yeah.
If you had a great runner, I would be all over Pittsburgh runner. But you don't. I do have a feeling that people are going to be into Vincent Davis because of his name. He's been around a while and a decent price at 3.9. But to me, especially when we're seeing Hammond taking extra carries now, GPP only.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's Pickett. It's pretty much Pickett. And on the Miami end, give me a little bit of Keyshawn Smith for cash. And it's probably, and maybe Tyler Van Dyke. 6-7 as we move along, we'll see what we have. But I could probably see maybe Tyler Van Dyke being in maybe game, especially game stacking as Van Dyke and Pickett. But maybe Van Dyke on the other end for cash. That's it.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. So moving on, we got another really great game here. Best team in the country, UT Hook'em Horns, playing the Baylor Bears here. So we have a very, very tight spread with a decent over-under. So we're looking over 61.5, 2.5 points separate these two teams. Texas, Baylor. Texas has been notorious, even though that's my alma mater and, the team I root for. Obviously, we're having a tough season. Can't close out games. Defense has been poor at best. But we do have Bijan Robinson, and we obviously do have some weapons with Casey Thompson and Xavier Worthy in the bunch. But Baylor, anybody playing Texas is a great run back. So tell me real quick, give me your snippet about this game, and what are you feeling?
To me, I guess the whole question is, do you run Bijan or not? It seems like I say it every week.
9,700.
You should just play Bijan. But now he's 9.7. And I said there's not much value on the slate. There's not too many breaks you can have.
Right.
And if you play Bijan at 9.7, along with a couple other guys like Breece Hall, but there's a couple of guys in that price range, you're going to need to get 30, 35 DK points from these guys. If not, you're going to be behind. So
yeah,
Bijan's probably a GPP play. But once again, I think he's the best running back in the game. I'm not going to argue against him. If you say you're going to play him, it's probably all I'm looking at because I like Van Dyke better than Casey Thompson. The receivers, I think Xavier Worthy is probably a little bit too expensive. If anything, I'd probably run back with like a Joshua Moore. He's 4.9. You got Marcus Washington as a number 3, about GPP plays only. So on the Texas side, pretty much is Bijan. Baylor, Bohannon's not bad. This Baylor team's not bad. Bohannon's going to run a little bit, and you can definitely run on Texas. Texas is giving up 203 rushing yards per game. So, yeah. And I really do think this game may turn into a run fest. But now you got Baylor's got 2 awesome running backs, Abram Smith and Treston Ebner. Smith's 7,200, expensive. Ebner's 4,300. I do think Smith's the better runner. We saw what these guys did. We saw what they did to BYU, and if they do that again, I don't know. The problem with Smith is you gotta make sure he's not gonna carry the ball 10 times. And with Ebner there, that may happen, but probably GPP plays only because they're both great plays. Like I said, they're splitting carries all year. So, but Ebner, Abram Smith's a great play. If we know he's going to get to touch the ball 15, 20 times, I'd be all over Abram Smith at $7,200. Yeah. Probably it. Thornton's got touchdown upside. We've seen it. We've seen it have multi-touchdown games of Bohannon, right?
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, absolutely. And my last thing is just on Bijan. I get it. 97, that's a massive number, but I mean, Big 12 is not anything that people are going to like say that they're just lockdown defenses in that conference, but he just came off of a really good game, 173 yards, a touchdown or two, against probably the best defense, rushing defense that we have in the conference. And then Breece Hall he tore up Baylor, so, and it was one of those games where everybody was like, do I want to play Breece Hall? Do I want those are the kind of guys I think in college football that you just have to kind of lean in on. And, I think whenever you're paying up for a quarterback, you're paying up because he's a quarterback. He's going to be able to pass, going to be able to run. He's touching the ball every play, essentially, kind of thing. So I think that's where people kind of get sour on these running backs that are high priced. But, dude, Sark is using Bijan, and he is a bell cow. So, I mean, I feel like if you're in a cash spot to where you're like, I need somebody to pay up for, and you're in that 9K range, you don't have to get cute. Like, put him in your cash lineup. I mean, he's gonna produce for you. So, yeah, that's all I have to say there.
It's a good point. I mean, we saw what Breece, we saw what Breece Hall did to that defense. So, and I say it every week, if I don't play Bijan by the second quarter, I'm saying I should have played him. I mean, 9.7 is a high water mark. It's a lot, but you're gonna get. So, as long as you get that 35 DK points, you're fine with him. But you got to make sure you get it, because if not, you're probably gonna be outside looking in. Some good running backs. I mean, I said I love, and I think Tristan Ebner may end up being a GPay, a cash pay because he's 4,300. But I love Abram Smith.
Yeah,
I think Abram Smith's a stud for Baylor. He's a real stud. He's $7,200. So
yeah, sweet, man. Fair enough. Cincinnati, Tulane. We got another good game. Obviously, I know you're going to talk a lot about Cincinnati because they're a huge favorite. A huge implied total, 26.5 spread. We're still looking at over 61 points here, but this is it's slated to be a blowout. So tell me what we can expect from this game, Pete.
Yeah, I mean, the last time we were talking this game, I called this this type of game when Cincinnati was big favorite to blow out, and I was calling a Jerome Ford game, and Ford went off. The problem is now Jerome Ford is 9-2, and he's up to Bijan Robinson territory. So Bijan Robinson, Breece Hall territory. So first of all, Ford's high over GPP play was, once again, you got to get that 30, 35 DK points out of Ford. And now you got Desmond Ridder, awesome quarterback, dropping all the way down to 8-3. So he's almost
crazy, man. I can't believe he's that low.
Less than Ford. Ford's almost $1,000 more. The thing is, though, Ridder has only hit 30 DK points once this entire season. But Tulane is a bad team. I mean, they're facing Tulane. So let me see. Tulane's given up 300 yards in the air, 193 yards on the ground. I think if this is a game, this probably is the Ridder game. I still think he's too cheap. The thing is, Ritter's not running in blowouts. So if Tulane can keep it a little bit close, Ridder may have a huge game. Like we've been waiting. It's like we're waiting for every game this season. So to me, it's between Ridder and Kenny Pickett as my top quarterback. Both great plays. Ridder is a little bit cheaper. I'm probably leaning Pickett, but I think Ridder is a great play. I said Ford GPP is the price.
Right.
You really can't use.
I think you
really
kind of
can't use receivers.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but you hit the nail on the head. Kind of like you answered your own question. I think that you haven't even asked yet, which is really cool. Is that the only way Ridder essentially is going to make value at 8,300 on DraftKings is if the game stays close enough. So you almost have to consider pairing a Tulane guy with him if you're going to keep it close, right? I mean, from a game theory standpoint, doesn't that make sense?
Definitely. And if Michael Pratt, who's questionable on Tulane's side, could play, I would definitely probably run like a game stack and GPPs with Pratt. That's all you have on that side, though, Michael Pratt. But you know, Ritter's not afraid to call his own number. We've seen that over the years. It's like he's not doing it much this year. It's Ford's getting all the work. But just I keep saying to myself, maybe it's more of a gut thing. I can see myself saying, Ritter's like, okay, Jerome, you've gotten your shit now. Let me get mine. So maybe this week is the week at 8-3. He's going to explode these weeks. He has to. He's too good of a quarterback. Tulane's a bad defense, rushing and passing. So maybe $600. Was he $600 cheaper than Kenny Pickett? Ritter's definitely in talk as one of your top cash quarterbacks, definitely. Maybe the top cash quarterback.
Yeah, I will say one thing. If we see a very similar blowout like we did with Tulane against they played Ole Miss, I believe, in week 3, and they played OU in week 1. That game stayed close. OU, and he scored over 30 DraftKings points. They played Ole Miss, got blown out 61-21. He still scored 18.34. So yeah, I think there's definitely a route there. We're going to have to keep an eye out. And guys, like I said, we've talked about it earlier in the show, but if you're just kind of jumping in, a lot of this stuff is news. We're talking, a couple nights before, well, essentially about 36 hours before the slate is going to start. So I feel like it's so important for you to jump in that Discord. There's a premium college Discord that you can tag Pete in or ask any of the staff members any questions. Pete's going to be sure to keep up with lineups. He's going to be sure to keep up with inactives and things like that. So those are great nuggets for you and great tools at your Fielder's Choice. So Pete, going on, I think we kind of covered that game. We have some good GPP feels. I'm sure you can talk about a lot of these games in depth, but we want to move on to the Maryland game. And it's Maryland, and then of course I think it's Indiana, right? Am I reading that right?
Indiana at Maryland. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought
right.
so. Yeah. There you go. So Indiana, Maryland. Trying to pull up the odds here while I'm doing that. Go ahead and lead us out on there.
Maryland's a favorite.
There it is.
Maryland's a favorite.
Yeah, Maryland's
and
49.5 total, 5-point spread. Sorry about that, guys. I lost. I scrolled over it like 3 times. That's what happens when you do these later shows. So yeah, Indiana, Maryland, close spread. Maryland's a fave. Pete, lead us out. What do you think?
Oh man, this is probably not much. Well, no, there could be a little cash. First of all, we got on the Indiana side, 2 quarterbacks, Michael Penix and Jack Tuttle. Both of them are questionable. So if one of those guys do play, well, let's turn this around. First of all, let's talk about Stephen Carr, the running back. Stephen Carr is 5'5", and he's getting Carr is getting usage. Against Ohio State, touched the ball 10 times, only 13 yards, but he ran the ball 10 times. Michigan State ran the ball 18 times, 52 yards, touchdown. And he actually, I think he caught a bunch of passes in the air. Against Penn State, ran the ball 14 times, like 40 yards. I think Carr is a solid play at 5'5", especially when we don't have much value on the slate. If Penix and Tuttle both don't play, I think Carr becomes a really good play at 5'5", because you got 2 other quarterbacks here. You got Donovan McCulley, who I like. He's a Wildcat quarterback. I would actually use him if I knew McCulley was going to get all the play, but I don't think he's gonna. I think he's 5'4". It's probably going to end up going to Grant Grimmel. Grant Grimmel is 4'5". So if one of those 2 guys is quarterback, I love Stephen Carr. If it's Penix or Tuttle, I don't mind going to receivers. Maybe like a Ty Freifogel, who got no work last week, which is weird because he was close to a playing at 7 o'clock slate, and I used him. Got lucky. I still cashed and all that. But then maybe you can use like the Freifogels and the Hendershots and all that. Yeah, it was terrible. And he was, great price. He's pretty close to a core play to me. But you can use like a Hendershot or Freifogel if Tuttle or Penix are there. But that's it for Indiana. On this Maryland side, I mean, I don't know. I'm not a fan of little Tua from Maryland. I just think nothing these guys do impresses me right now. Even when you got Jayshon Jones out, Dante Demas out, we thought that Raheem Jarrett is going to take over as WR1. He hasn't done nothing. So these guys this is all GVP plays for me. Tayon Flake Davis, your running back, he's underperformed. So you can't play any of these guys in cash. If anything, Stephen Carr from Indiana, if we have one, if Penix or Tuttle don't quarterback, we got one of the other guys.
Yeah, I mean, not much to say about this game. I mean, I do think that, Tagovailoa, like, obviously, the reality is that, whenever Dante Demas got hurt, that it was a big target for him. I think that was an issue. Man, I'm looking at his recent game log. It's rough, but Iowa, OSU, Minnesota. I mean, it's not like he's out there just playing, Big 12 opponents. But, I think that the biggest thing is that I'm looking at his game logs. And one of the things that kind of stands out to me is that his average passing, like a lot of these very successful college football quarterbacks, they take chunks of yards every time they make a completed pass. 5 to 7 yards is not going to do it. And he doesn't exactly have speed. He's going to be in a very, very tough situation. I think this is going to be one of those better real life games, to be honest with you. So, nothing really much to say about this one. We can move on. We do have a good game next. Michigan State, right? I mean, this is a rivalry game. What is the trophy? What is it, Pete, for Michigan State? I know you know this.
No, I don't actually. So you said what is? I knew you're going to ask that question.
You have to know this.
No,
you have to be prepared.
It's like the show notes, like the Red River Showdown.
Hey, these are in the show notes
and all that.
These are in the show notes.
You stumped me. First person to ask that gets a free week.
There you go. Answer that in the premium chat, guys. Michigan State. We got a 4-point spread. It's going to be close. Only a 50 over under. Implied total. Not the greatest, but both these teams have some good targets. So, tell me a little bit, real quick, about the Michigan running back situation. I felt like we talked about this last week. And remember, we kind of had the debate about the Corum and Haskins game. And then Pete, with the freaking clutch call, was like, you can play both. Why not both? And sure enough, damn, they both crushed.
That was my top GPP lineup.
I saw out there that had both of them.
Yeah, that was my top GPP lineup. And I should I cashed my main slate. But if I did have the balls, use both of them, I would have did even better. But I got to start trusting my own calls, because I did. That was my top call.
That was a great call.
Both these guys. Yeah,
that was an amazing call. Great call, man. So so let's talk about it real quick. Corum, Haskins, and then what you feel about the rest of the game.
All right, so let me start. I guess start Michigan first. Michigan's favored. I mean, of course, we're not going to see it like last week. We use both these guys. Haskins is your play at 6'9". He's a preferred back because he's cheaper. He's $1,200 cheaper than Blake Corum. Blake Corum, is definitely a better running back. But I mean, he's got the bigger upside. He's more explosive. But when you can get Haskins at that price, you use Haskins. But, Michigan State has been a really defense. So I'm not even saying. I mean, I'm not even loving both these guys' GBP plays. They're only allowing 120 yards per game on the ground. But we do know Jim Harbaugh is going to go. He's going to run the ball. We know the game plan, and he's going to run. So Haskins should get enough at 6'9" to make value. Blake Corum may not at 8'1". So if anything, you play Haskins.
Okay.
The quarterback for Michigan, Cade Mack. I don't mind his Cade McNamara. He's at 5'3". The main thing is you can beat that Michigan State secondary, I think. And so what's Michigan? They're allowing 285 per game through the air. So they've been beat. Cade McNamara is not the greatest quarterback, but I mean, Michigan's implied is what's Michigan's implied? 27 points. So there's gonna be some touchdowns, and it's not all going to come from Haskins or Corum. So I don't mind. I mean, I don't mind McNamara GPPs. And you look at his two receivers. You got this one kid now, Dalen Baldwin.
Reed, right? Oh, okay, yeah.
Against Nebraska, Baldwin saw 13 targets. So Northwestern, you saw 2, but you see 13 targets in the game, caught 6 of them. GBP played. Cornelius Johnson, the same thing against Northwestern. He saw 6 targets. So I mean, you look for something different. GBP play, run a little stack with Cade McNamara and Dalen Baldwin or Cornelius Johnson. The GBP plays only. This game is mostly GBP plays. Because on the other side, on the Michigan State side, I really don't think Michigan's tough. I mean, what's the running back Kenneth Walker the third? He's we know he gets the volume, but his price has gone down to 6-7, but it's gonna be a negative game script. Then I think Michigan State's gonna be playing from behind, and you're gonna be looking for Peyton Thorne probably throwing to two great receivers, Naylor and Reed. So I'm not into Kenneth Walker the third either for cash plays. Great GPP plays because we know he's gonna get the volume, but if anything, this is all GPP plays, especially when Thorne's got those great targets and Jaden Reed and Jalen Naylor.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that you can definitely, I mean, they're only $300 difference in salary on DraftKings, but Naylor for sure upside, boom, kind of bust kind of guy. Reed seems to be a little bit more consistent in the games that I've seen them. But yeah, I mean, I think that this is going to be tough game for Kenneth Walker. Obviously, I don't hate Thorne and GPP. Maybe like you said, like a Thorne Reed, Thorne Naylor, and then run it back with a Haskins or a Quorum or something like that.
Reasonable price, 6-1.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, McNamara, honestly, the only thing that is intriguing about him is his price. He's really good at handing the ball off. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I get what you're saying. 5-3, there's going to be touchdowns scored. It's a rivalry game. How can the guy not get on the board? But I'm just like looking at his last freaking game log, and he had 20 of 27. That's nearly 75% completion, no touchdowns, no interceptions, and ran the ball for -6 yards on 2 carries, 4.56. That's freaking efficient. Yeah, that is efficient. He's brutal in regards to DraftKings or FanDuel DFS standpoint. So yeah, man, I think we're gonna have to kind of just be different here. Like you talked about the double running backs, the run backs on here, playing a McNamara in this game script where nobody may play him. They may look at his game log like I did, and they're like, and I've seen the guy play in real life. They always have freaking Michigan on TV here in Texas, which I have no idea why. But yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Iowa, Wisconsin. What are we looking at here?
Take a look at the over-under. The over-under I have is 36.5. That's all you need to know. Move on.
Yeah, I don't think there's much.
Honestly, have you ever seen? I don't think I've ever seen a 36.5 over/under on a Saturday main slate. I don't think I have. So
yeah, I don't know why they just didn't leave it off. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
So we move on to Iowa State.
For sure, rough. Yeah, let's just move on. Iowa State, excuse me, Iowa State, West Virginia. A little bit more exciting of a game here in regards to a odds standpoint. Looks like we have. Let me pull that up real quick. There we go. Iowa State is a favored by 7 points. 48.5 is the over/under. Not super high in regards to an over/under, but there are some intriguing plays here. So tell me a little bit about. I'm just going to kind of throw you a softball here. The Brock Purdy, Charlie Kohler connection. I like Kohler a lot, and I was a big advocate of playing him last week, and I think he did excellent. And they refused to raise his price, 4.1K. So let's start there, and then we're going to touch on some Breece Hall, and then the run back on Letty Brown and some of the West Virginia Mountaineers.
To me, first of all, Charlie Kohler is the way pricing is, and how many. And we're already halfway through the slate, and how many value plays we talked about. Pretty much the Miami kid. So to me, Charlie Kohler at 4-1 is the cash lock. Lock him in your cash games.
Yeah, for sure.
His price doesn't move. Oklahoma State, not a bad defense. 9 targets, 6 receptions, 69 yards. Kansas State, same thing. 5 targets, 441. Kansas, 5 targets, 464. You might get lucky. He runs and he catches 2 touchdowns for you this week. So you know what you get with Charlie Kohler. You don't play him in GBP. You should play him in cash. You won't get a bagel from him. And it seems like, now that he's back and he's healthy, he's getting better every week. So like where the kid from the kid from Miami is more of a cash GBP play, Kohler's a cash play. But I'd probably play both these guys in cash, and I can maybe get like a David Bell we'll talk about later on, or like a Ja'Cory Roberson. So love Kohler. Brock Purdy, now that you bring it up,
I like Brock.
Purdy, Purdy is 6'4". I mean, he's solid, and he played it decent against a good Oklahoma State defense. So, yeah, I mean, Purdy's in play. I mean, he really is. I could probably play him naked. You know, if I was going to play him in cash, I like Xavier. I mean, no, I shouldn't say naked because he got Kohler. But I was looking at Xavier Hutchinson. I love the Hutchinson, but 17 is a little bit high.
This is a family show, Pete. It's a family show, so let's be careful what we talk about here.
I do like Purdy at. I mean, yeah, I do like Purdy at that price. I think 6'4" is not bad. I can't believe we're saying that. That's just the way where the slate is taking us. When we got, Van Dyke at 6'7", I may even like Purdy better. He's right there with Van Dyke. So, looking at that side, I Kohler's a lock for me, cash. Purdy's borderline. And then the whole thing to me is a battle of the running backs. Looking at two guys because I'm not looking at Derek Dozier for West Virginia. He just sucks. But the question is, can you play Breece Hall or Letty Brown in cash? And to me, Hall's in the same category as Bijan and Jerome Ford, same price. I mean, the problem is if you pick one of these guys like a Bijan, Jerome Ford, Breece Hall, you can't miss if you pick one of these guys. They got to get you that 150, 2 touchdowns, the 35 DK points. The thing with Hall, he gets you there every week. He gets you there in pure volume every week. But you don't think he's doing it before you know it. He's got his points. But still, probably where a GPP play, but it's gonna be low. It's gonna be lower owned, and he's the type of guy that can run a slate for you. So,
yeah. One thing I was looking at here, I was kind of looking at Purdy's numbers. I really do like him a lot here on this slate, but he's actually a lot better away. At home, he's throwing 72%, which is amazing. 72%, 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, averaging about the same, both home and away, 17.1 DraftKings points, but away, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception, averaging 79.3% completion, 17.8. I mean, even just those little small tidbits and stats of like, hey, look, this guy's actually been a lot better away. And I mean, he's like racking up some incredible accuracy numbers. Last 3 games, 81.8% Oklahoma State, 88% Kansas State, 77% Kansas. He had one drop down. I guess we're going to say 66% as a completion percentage is bad for him. And then he was at 87.5 to UNLV. So, man, Purdy is efficient. He's going to be able to move the chains. And you can't complain about 6,400 on this slate when we need salary. So, I'm all about these ISU guys.
No, I agree. And now I'm looking at Purdy now too. Beside the Iowa game week 2, I mean, he's had Kansas State 13 DK, but last week Oklahoma State's a good defense, almost 23 DK points. So like the call. Letty Brown's the other play, the other call in this play, another high usage guy. I'm a huge Letty Brown guy. But right now, I mean, Iowa State is probably one of the best statistical defenses in the nation.
Right, exactly.
Brown probably get there too, his usage, and he had a great game last week. And it's I love Letty Brown, but probably still more of a GPP play here. 7.4 out. I would probably lean more toward Brown than Breece's 9-1, because we've seen what Letty can do though. But GPP. So cash, Charlie Kohler, possibly Brock Purdy, and the rest of these guys GPP plays.
Yeah, I know he's too expensive whenever I'm like, I don't know if I'd play Letty Brown at 6'5", and he's in the 7. So I just think this matchup is super tough. So
and he hasn't had the greatest seasons either.
We're good. Exactly. So we're moving on. We have a really good, exciting real life game, but
right.
I don't think it's going to be as bad of a game in regards to the spread. Georgia versus Florida. Georgia is a 2 touchdown favorite. Over 51. Over under 51 is what we're looking at in regards to the expected point total. Oh man, Georgia's tough. I don't know. I don't really know. I mean, I feel like there's nobody in this game that I'm like, I have to play, which makes me think it's a GPP game, which makes me think, is there a GPP stack that you like, or is this a move on game to you?
No, because first of all, I start from week 1, you don't play against Georgia. They're generational defense. You just don't mess with them, especially when we know what's going on at quarterback at Florida between Anthony Richardson and Emory Jones. And we don't even know what's going on at quarterback now with South Carolina with Stetson Bennett splitting snaps with JG Daniels. So if anything, DFS plays. If there is, well, I shouldn't say that, but I do like the running backs. I do like Zamir White and James Cook. Kendall Milton's out. Kenny McIntosh, I'm not even sure if Kenny McIntosh is playing. So I like Zamir White at 6K, but GPP. I love James Cook though. James Cook at 4.6 is too cheap. He's a passing down running back.
Right.
So he's possibly usable. And then the other kid, Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers will catch touchdowns, but I'm not messing with Brock. What's Brock Bowers' price? 6.5. Not messing with Brock Bowers 6.5. Once again, I get David Bell another $600. So I do have some interest though in these running backs. A little bit of maybe Zamir White, and if anything, James Cook, because Cook is the passing down back, and maybe run one in. But I don't mess with Georgia on the offense. I don't mess with anybody playing against Georgia defense. So.
Okay, fair enough. We got another very, very good real life matchup. It has some fantasy appeal too. Florida State, Clemson. Looking at it from an odds standpoint, about a 9.5 spread. Clemson being the favorite team. It's poised to be another good real life game. 47.5 of the over under is what we're looking at here. Pete, is there anything to? I do feel like there is some things that we can pull from a DFS standpoint, and I'll kind of lead out here, and you just tell me what you think. But Will Shipley here, I think that they had is it Kobe Pace is out, which kind of put Shipley on the radar. I was kind of digging in here, only 5.7. I think that there's a lot of value there, especially against this Florida State team that has not been just stellar. So what do you think in regards to Shipley? 5.7, is that a good price? Are you in on a DJ, or are you looking at Mackenzie Milton or somebody like that? Like, where are you at? I guess is Travis or Mackenzie Milton starting? Who's playing?
And that's the problem.
Travis.
One thing though, I don't. Even though Clemson though is not as good as they were, I still usually mess with the Clemson defense.
Right, for sure.
Jordan Travis is still the man there. And he does run the ball. Once again, we've seen him run against guys like Syracuse. I love Syracuse, but Syracuse, UMass, guys like that. So Travis, GVP only. You don't mess with Florida State in this game. Clemson is still a good defense. Clemson side, Will Shipley is a lock to me. Cash play 5.7, mainly because we do know that Kobe Pace is out with COVID. Shipley came back quicker than we thought and had a really good game last week. Anything you know about Will Shipley? This kid's a warrior. He's a hard worker. He's everything you hear about him is everything is just work. And he dropped a 62-yard touchdown that would have gone for a 62-yard touchdown last week, and it would have put them up 14-0. And everything I've been reading about this week is how that drop is driving him freaking crazy. So Shipley is got the ball. He is going to me. He's a core play at 5.7. Essentially, no Kobe Pace. He's the only play I'm even looking at because we're not even sure what's happening with DJ, the quarterback.
Right. Yeah.
We know. I think Taysom. How do you pronounce his last name? Famakana probably has more upside than DJ, who's been awful this year.
That was really that was good, Pete. That was really good.
I'm not sure if I'm right though. It's Taysom Famakana, but
I
we
thought
knew
you were
Famakana
sneezing,
starting, I would
and
maybe
it
use
sounded
him.
like you. Yeah, Famakana banana. Okay, yeah, that was good. Great job.
Lock in Will Shipley at 5.7. We need all the value we can get. We can get Shipley at 5.7.
Lock him in.
Little Charlie Kohler, the kid from Miami. We may be able to get some other guys we want. So that's all I'm looking at in this game.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. I don't think there's a lot other than, you can consider a DJ play here, but I mean, he's 5'7". It's not horrible, but yeah, I think just play Will Shipley and move on. Colorado, Oregon, another good game here. Anytime Oregon's on the slate, obviously you have to pay attention to them, but I really hate the fact that I feel like we're going to see less offensive possessions. We're going to see a slow pace here. Oregon is favored by 24 points, over under at 49. It's not great from a betting standpoint. Not a lot of action here, but is there something that you're seeing in this game, Colorado and Oregon, where you're like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, outside of paying up for a Travis Dye play to kind of pay off here, is there something that I'm not seeing, Pete?
Well, the Colorado defense is not as bad as people think, but they do, if anything, they're going to get burned on the run, and that's Travis Dye.
Right.
Because they are going to burn the clock out. I'm a huge Dye guy. We know, he's active around the goal line. He's a pass catcher on the backfield. If anybody, I'm playing Dye's going back. The only guy I'm going to play, but he's 8'7". Now he's up there close up to the Breece Halls and guys like that. So the Dye, but we haven't gotten a Kansas State game yet. So, so Dye's GPP play. Anthony Brown, I'm not going to mess with just because I don't think he's going to. Well, Brown runs the ball a little bit, and we did see what Chase Garbers did to them. I'm not into this game. What's the over? It's 49 this game.
Yeah, so it's super low.
If anything, I'm messing with Travis Dye, and that's it. I'm not messing with anybody from Colorado at all. So,
okay, fair enough. I don't think there's anything that we have to spend time with on this game that I'm like, oh, this is a must talk about. But we do have a really good game here. We have Texas Tech and Oklahoma, right? That's what we're looking at next. Yep. And I'm kind of moving over here, switching over my stuff. And with this game, I'm trying to look for the betting odds. Do you have it in front of you, Pete, on this one, or we look?
Yeah, I got no, I didn't. And I got Charlie Kohler in front of me. Hold on.
Yeah, you're in love with Charlie Kohler, and there's nothing wrong with that. People don't know you have a Charlie Kohler calf tattoo, but I mean that's okay. We won't judge you. 66.5, Pete.
There you go.
19-point spread for Oklahoma, but it's still 66.5. So there is fantasy goodness to be had. I think we can get both sides of this game from a certain perspective, but I mean, high total. Oklahoma seems to have some live. Caleb Williams looking really good here. This is a great spot for him, man. He's super expensive, $10K, but I think the game may stay close enough where he can actually just kind of shoot it out.
Yeah, the problem in this game is these guys are so damn expensive. I think Caleb Williams is probably the best quarterback on the slate. But can we get there at 10K? Can we get that high?
Yeah.
I'd love to use him as my QB1. I'm just not sure if I can get there. So, Kenny Brooks, 8'4". Great.
God, I don't even want to talk about these freaking running backs from OU. I played Eric Gray, and it killed me.
And that's another question. I'm glad you brought up Eric Gray's at 4'4". We thought he was going to do it last week, but once again, it wasn't a blowout. So,
yeah, that's true.
Kansas State touch. So maybe it's just the Eric Gray week at 4'4". I mean, possibly could be. He's a pass down back. He does make some sense. Kenny Brooks at 8'4". It comes down to, do you use Kenny Brooks? You use Travis Dye, we talked about before. They're both about the same price. I probably like Dye over Brooks, but I do like Caleb Williams. If I can get to Williams. The problem is these guys are so damn expensive. You're not going to get too many of them. So if I can get Caleb Williams, it's probably all I'm going to get. There's a lot. I mean, on the other side, on the Tech side, we got Roger Thompson, who I like, but his price has gone up. He had two. He's pretty pricey. Red zone. Yeah, he's up 6'8" now, and Taj Brooks is back playing. So, he's not going to get all the touches.
Yeah,
this is a
man. Yeah. It's a tough game. Henry Columbia is not good either. How is he a Texas Tech quarterback and he's not good?
And he's also giving up snaps, so he's not in play. So that's a problem with Columbine. Yeah. So if anything, I mean, Columbine's probably being forced to throw, so that makes Azukanama a GVP play. This pricing is all GVP plays. You know, maybe you can get Caleb Williams. Maybe you can get Caleb Williams, and that's it though. This is it's a shiny game, but I'm not sure how much this is for DFS purposes because they're expensive.
Yeah,
I probably would run Guy over Kennedy Brooks. So,
okay, that's fair. We do actually have another good game that's next. I think we have some good talking points here. 58.5 total, only a 3.5 point spread. TCU and Kansas State. What do you see here outside of? I mean, I know you're a Deuce Vaughn guy, so I know you've been a Skylar Thompson fan in the past too. So I mean, you got to show all your colors, Pete. Here, like what are we looking at here in regards to any must plays or what? What do you think?
So first, let's start with TCU. The whole Zach Evans nonsense. So there was talk earlier in the week that Zach Evans pulled all his mentions of TCU off his Instagram, I guess it was, and now, but the beat writer Drew Davison said that Evans was actually at practice there the other day. All was good.
Okay.
Even though I said, Evans removed all any sign of TCU from his Instagram page on Wednesday. Now, that's important because Zach Evans at 7.4, a 7.0 is freaking cheap. I mean, if I know Zach Evans is playing, I know he's warming up with the starters, the first team starters. Zach Evans is way too good for 7K. Because West Virginia,
I know,
18 touches, 62.
Cheap. Yeah.
I mean, Texas Tech, 17, 143, 2 touchdowns. Texas, 15, 113. SMU, 15, 113. So Zach Evans is way too cheap for 7K. But the problem is we don't know where his head is. Horrible coach. But if I know he's playing, I'm taking a chance on Zach Evans. That's it. I'm not even messing. I'm not messing. Too cheap. It's way too cheap. Zach Evans, way too cheap. On the Kansas State side,
that good.
No, but on the Kansas State side, man, I know Deuce Vaughn was 7-7 last week, and I'm hearing people say I'm not going to pay 9.4 for him this week. But I think Deuce Vaughn possibly at what's his price at 9.4 is possibly one of the top plays of the slate because he does everything. Top receiver of the team.
Yeah.
He's carrying the ball 15 times. He's getting 10 targets a game as a receiver. The whole offense revolves around him. But the main thing is we know Skylar is not running. I made a mistake I played Skylar. He was all right. He got the job done and got paid me off. I got paid for him.
Right.
But if you watch that game, he's wearing that big old bulky brace. Skylar Thompson isn't running anytime soon. So, and that's why we play Skylar Thompson to run the ball. So now we know Skylar's not running.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Deuce Vaughn, the TCU defense is ranked, running backs against them are 287. I was digging in stats. I was like, that can't be right. And I was kind of trying to find out why that number was. And they're just giving up a ton of rushing yards. They're total. They're pretty much just a fantasy team that you're going to attack, or a college football team in fantasy you're going to attack. I mean, there's really no reason why. Actually, neither of these teams are great defensively. So, if you're like, hey man, I can't get Bijan, I need 300 in salary to get to another player I want. Absolutely play Deuce Vaughn. I don't think you can play both of them, but I have no issue with that. Anything else in this game?
You could possibly get double bonus from Vaughn also with the receiving and rushing. When I first saw Vaughn's price, I'm like, no way am I paying that. But the more I looked at it, I'm like, wow, you know what? I think he may be the best player in the slate. So that's it. Vaughn's a great play. I love the play, but that's it on this game.
Okay, cool. We got 2 games left. Purdue and Nebraska coming in here, looking at an odds spread. Let me just pull it up. My odds page that I'm looking on is really crappy, man. I have to like move around and stuff. There we go. 7.5. Nebraska is favored. 52 over under. Yeah, man. I don't know if there's anything here. I don't follow either one of these teams a lot. The only thing I know is that, you got Adrian Martinez out there. These Nebraska quarterbacks love to run. He's at 8-2. Not horrible. What do you think here?
Well, first of all, this game's got David Bell. I love David Bell. I think David Bell where am I going? David Bell for Purdue.
Chasing my dog, Pete. Don't worry. I'm still here.
At $7,100. Way too cheap, David Bell. Last week against Wisconsin, 10 targets, 6 receptions. Iowa, 12 targets, 11 receptions, 240 yards. Minnesota, 11 targets, 6 receptions. So way too cheap. I love David Bell. If I can get David Bell in my main lineup, I'm locking him in. Also, Purdue, King DeRue, I don't mind because he's pretty much the only running back, and he's probably going to get 20 carries, depending on game flow. I don't mind King DeRue. What's his price? 4.3, great price. On the other side, I'm not messing with Purdue quarterbacks, but Nebraska, Amart. I mean, the kid gets a lot of heat, but he puts it up every week. I mean, he's pretty much he's been good every week. Aside, was it Minnesota? Bad game. So Amart, probably a little bit high, but I don't mind Amart. And maybe a little bit Ramir Johnson, running back. He's scored two touchdowns in 2 of his last 3 games. So, but David Bell, to me, David Bell at 7-1 is too cheap. If I can get Bell in my lineup, I'm rocking David Bell.
Yeah, he's probably the highest priced receiver I'm looking at playing, especially in the single lineup.
He's way too cheap for top receiver on the slate. Way too cheap at 7-1.
Yeah, I'm fine paying 7-1 for him. I've played him plenty of times. He's done well for me. I think that he's a great call here. I don't think that at receiver I'm going to go any higher than that. Yeah, for sure. I'm not going to go and overpay at receiver whenever there's so many good plays at running back. There's some great quarterbacks and some good value. So I think receivers were people this week are going to try to save. So I think that you're going to get some pay up at running back. You're going to probably get 2 quarterbacks, one at super flex. You're probably going to get one of those cheap guys, those 5 to 7K guys at quarterback, and you're probably going to get a pay up. We'll see. I think people are going to have Deuce or Bijan in their lineups if we're just talking about it from a strictly game theory standpoint. So yeah, man. I think you hit the nail on the head. I don't think that game seems very straightforward. You know, I don't think that there's anything else really there. I think that the last game on the slate, you have a Duke and Wake Forest team here. You know, I don't really like for this particular game. I find it odd whenever we play these 14-game slates and then we have these teams that are, you know, they're not really, you know, on a slate very often. Then they pop in there. You're like, holy cow, 71.5 over under, 16.5 favorite for Wake Forest. But man, 71.5. We had a 77 over under this last week with the Ole Miss game. So what are you thinking here?
Well, I think starting with Duke. I mean, I don't mind Gunnar Holmberg, the quarterback. I don't think he's a bad GPP play, but the main play is Mateo Durant. We played him a lot earlier in the season for Duke. 7-7, probably top runner on the slate. We saw Wake Forest got trashed. They got, slashed by Army last week. And Durant at 7-7. Look at Durant's logs. Virginia, 17 touches, 82. Georgia Tech, ran about 44 times, 156. North Carolina, 19, 113. So, and Wake Forest is bad against running backs. So lock Durant in, lock him in at 7-7, boom. And it's pretty much Jake Bobo, maybe, GPP receiver. That's it. Other side, Wake Forest, I'm a huge Jakari Roberson guy. His price has gone up, though, to 7-6. He had his breakout game last week, which I think I either called here on my article, but I knew that game was coming. Few touchdowns. Love the Roberson Sam Hartman connection. Probably more of a GPP. I do like Bell more. Roberson's $500 more, but Hartman, Roberson, great GPP play. So Mateo Durant is a lock in this game for cash. Don't even think about it. Don't overthink it. Just play him in.
Yep.
That's
pretty
much it.
There's nothing. I was going to say there's nothing to really think about there. I think that Durant's an amazing play. I think that he's kind of that second guy that I'm like, man, you got to kind of play him. I don't know. Three running backs. You could play Durant. We talked about that. You could play one of the price step running backs as well. And and who is our third one here? Shipley, right?
Shipley from Clemson.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe start your lineups that way. I don't know. Maybe not for
I think
running
you're
back
right.
On the high end. Yeah, I think that's kind of where I'm going to go here. So yeah, man. 14 games. We got a lot of stuff going on. So be sure to check us out, guys. yourfieldofchoice.com. At Pete Cole, man, I'm so thankful to get his knowledge in here. He's going to be in that Discord, dropping some dimes in there in regards to lineups, start blocks, and everything else. And of course, shout out to our producer, John Moffa. Thank you so much for, being amazing as always, staying up late with us here and covering these 14 games. Don't forget about yourfieldofchoice.com. You have a great promo right now, 50% off your first 2 months. Be sure to check that out. There's tons of channels in the Discord. If you love playing anything outside of DFS, DraftKings, or FanDuel, we do have other options as well that we're affiliated with. Pete, any last thoughts, man?
No. So it's a big slate, but you can probably manage it. Like we said, get your quarterback, like a Pickett or a Ritter, run the two running backs. Like I said, like a Shipley Durant, and then maybe get a stud, David Bell, top receiver, get a couple other. We mentioned a couple good values, and might not be as bad as slate as I thought it was a couple hours ago. So we got 2 games slate tomorrow. I'll have to write up for that tomorrow, and then this main slate Saturday. But a lot going on. So I think we're good shape.
All right. Perfect, guys. And before we leave you, be sure if you're checking us out on Twitch or our YouTube channel, hit the like and subscribe and that bell for notifications. Be sure to attach your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account. We love the love that you guys show us. Thank you for growing us here at yourfieldofchoice.com. We're so thankful for you. If you have questions, be sure to reach out to us at YFC P. Cole at YFC V12. We're happy to have you guys. Thank you for tonight. Pete, appreciate you. Maffa, you're awesome. Guys, we're out.